This week on Overtime, we're going to be talking about one of the truly elite fighters in the world. Unfortunately, you may not be able to tell because over the last 3.5 years, he hasn't fought anybody. Of course, I'm talking about Terence "Bud" Crawford, and unfortunately, that trend seemingly is going to continue as it was announced last week that he will be fighting Kell Brook. That's right, one of the legit top 3 fighters in the world in 2020 will be fighting Kell Brook. Now, let me make something perfectly clear. I mean no disrespect to Kell. I mean no disrespect to Bud. Bud is one of the greatest fighters in the world. I genuinely mean that. Like, one of my favorite fighters, someone who I literally think the world of, and anyone who has seen him fight would agree with you. But Slim, you have to get in there, baby. Iron sharpens iron, bro. And you out here fighting, you ain't even fighting silver. You in this joint fighting aluminum. And again, I mean this with the utmost respect. I've got nothing but respect for Kell Brook. For those of you who need a refresher, Kell Brook, when he was champion, he defeated Shawn Porter. Mind you, Terence Crawford turned down a fight to fight Shawn Porter. Put a pin there, right? After Kell beat Shawn, he moved up 2 weight classes to fight Gennady Golovkin. This is when Gennady Golovkin was the fucking boogeyman and no one wanted to touch him. Not only did Kell move up in weight and fought the boogeyman, but he was winning. He was looking good. Unfortunately, Triple G dislocated his right eye socket, so his corner stopped the fight, but he was looking good even up until the stoppage. Then Kell goes back down to 147 and fights Errol Spence, a name that everybody is associating with Terence Crawford, and for good reason. Errol Spence at 147 dislocated the other eye socket in winning his first championship. The point is, Terence, like, look around, baby, read the room, okay? Everybody is getting busy at the end of this year. Everybody. The people you are most associated with, right? Look, Errol's gonna fight Danny Garcia. And whatever you feel about Garcia, understand, that's a legit entertaining fight. They got my money, right? Hell, look at your top ranked comrade, okay? Lomachenko, who is widely considered the number 1 or number 2 fighter in the world, he's fighting Teofimo Lopez. Okay, so the idea that you turned down the Shawn Porter fight because there's no gates and it's in the right time, brother, that sounds all good, but then when we just scratch the surface just a bit, it's not adding up. But I have the utmost respect for you, and maybe this is what frustrates me the most, right? I believe in you more than it feels like you or your camp believes in yourself. Like, this doesn't make any sense. 2 of your last 3 fights have been against Amir Khan and now Kell Brook. Brother, that's I'm at a loss. You feel me? So, Terence, I hope this is the last time we have to go through this, the last time we have to have this conversation. Because once you bust up and dust up, Kell, and again, all due respect, but we know what time it is, Kell.
I tell you what, you better go on back out there and get out of my face before you get swole.
So, hey, look, Dal, I ain't
Hey for horses, hey for horses.
come here and muscle you and nothing like that. I ain't trying to do that. I just want my money. You know, I just said.
Blue, if I raise up, gonna be trouble. Trouble.
Once you get done with Brook, it's time to sit down with whomever's designing your fights, your team, your promoter, Aram, whomever, and be like, look, if it's not Earl, and unfortunately I'm becoming more and more pessimistic about the chances that we see that dream fight between Spence and Bud. But if it's not going to be Spence, you have to get in there with somebody worth the damn. Somebody worth the damn now, not 5-6 years ago, but right now. Because as it stands, I can't put you top of the pound for pound list. Because as a welterweight at 147, you haven't done anything to show me you deserve that spot. All right, if you guys enjoyed that, make sure you check out the podcast this week, the Quarterly Report podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. This week, we're talking about counting your chickens before they hatch. Everybody believes that Denver Nuggets will be here for a long time coming, but just ask the Philadelphia 76ers or the Los Angeles Clippers how fleeting success truly is in this day and age. All of that, plus The Great White Hype is one of my favorite movies of all time. Find out why I hate the real life version, starring Conor McGregor. All of that and so much more this week on the Quarterly Report podcast. I'm Armand Lee. Thanks for checking in Overtime.